On November 10th, 2016, my spouse Molly and I were in the streets of Philly with hundreds of marchers in a people-powered impromptu march against the results of the election. This was a Black and LGBTQ activist organized action where we were just two people in a sea of faces, bringing traffic downtown to a halt. To my left was a city bus completely immobilized, full of commuters cheering and waving. In front, parents carried their young kids on their shoulders. We marched for over an hour, and as we completed our loop and huddled together against the cold across the street from City Hall, the activists took to the mic. They reminded us that the way forward, the way to fight what we all feared was coming, was through collective action, that our strength lay in relationship, in connection, in each other. These organizers did not wake up that day and decide to suddenly take action. This was a natural extension of the vital work they had been doing all along, of the coalitions they had been building for years. They reminded us of our strength, and most importantly, of our strength in numbers, and the power that we had to care for each other outside of formal structures. As poet and activist June Jordan said in her work, Poem for South African Women, "We are the ones we've been waiting for." As the rally wound down, Molly and I walked the 10 blocks to our church to join the choir rehearsal that had just begun. Raw and exhausted from the emotion of marching and chanting for hours, we knew we needed to come home. We needed to be with our church family. Our church was a refuge well beyond that first night. Here we received calls to action and we organized, but we also witnessed each other at our lowest. We held each other when the fear became too great. We saw it time and again that our congregation was a radical structure in a time of increased isolation. All congregations are. In our congregations, we show up to honor the joys and struggles inherent to life. In our congregations, we provide meals when folks are in need. We listen deeply to each other in small group ministries. We sing together, synchronizing our hearts in rhythm. In our congregations, we name and honor that some are at greater risk than others, and those of us with privilege learn how to wield it, how to be on the front lines, how to ensure that those most at risk are not also the ones expected to do the most labor. When the world is pulling us apart, our congregations hold us together. Just over the past 10 days, we have been reminded of the high stakes of this time. We rage against the injustice and mourn the murders of Lorenzo Salgado Araujo and Joan Sebastian Guerrero at the hands of ICE. We come together to challenge an autocratic ruler who continues to undermine our elections and the very foundations of democracy that make our nation what it is. It can all feel like too much, and none of us are getting through this time alone. Your church is here. But churches are not institutions and buildings. They are not staff or ministers. The real power of church lives with you. Our strength lives with all of us, and collective care and collective action is how we can best support each other in this particular time. I am just getting to know you all. This is only my third week here, and already it is so clear how this is a congregation who cares for each other. That this is a congregation who serves those in need, who answers the call to a more just world. And you do this through a network of connection and possibility. Without even using the phrase collective care, you all have been doing this vital work for a long time. Over the past several weeks, I have learned about the amazing times you have organized meals when one of you falls ill or injured, or when you are at home caring for a newborn or an aging loved one. Many of you have offered rides to the doctor when folks are stuck, ensuring that everyone in this community is able to access the care that they need. And these are just the examples right here at MLUC. Out in the community, we see community fridges in the city regularly stocked by caring residents, helping feed our neighbors without the structure of food pantries. We see little free libraries get replenished so that there is always a new book to explore. Buy nothing groups to keep our items out of the landfill and help people with extra pair with people with a need. Collective care is our way forward. Caring for each other without the government, without the formal systems of nonprofits. We do not need to reinvent the wheel. This is mutual aid. Groups have been doing this work for a long time. This is neighbor showing up for neighbor. This is something greater than what the government can provide, and this is something greater than what any political party can take away. So, I invite you to return to community, to do this life-giving, oppression-fighting act, to think of how you can plug in here at MLUC, how you can connect with those in your neighborhood, how you can expand your network of care. Because we have seen these connections be the answer time and time again. This past January, we watched in horror as ICE agents and other federal officers flooded the streets of Minneapolis and the surrounding Twin Cities community. Operation Metro Surge promised numbers never before seen, and it delivered with utter brutality. But that was only half of the story. Every day, Minnesotans established complex networks of care. There were homeschooling hubs, foot patrols outside of schools and daycares, grocery delivery routes, carpooling, communication networks. An entire system was created to serve the needs of a terrorized immigrant community who could no longer safely leave their homes. The people of the Twin Cities came together to serve their neighbors with whatever resources they had available to them. This was a vital enactment of true relationship and also of exercising privilege. White Minnesotans who did not have to fear being profiled due to their race traversed the city, providing resources for those who were not able to safely leave their homes. But this mutual aid network did not emerge overnight. It did not emerge in 1 week. It was possible because of the deep relational organizing that happened in 2020 in the wake of the murder of George Floyd. This was a community that had reckoned with state violence before and had organized together. In the wake of the community uprising in 2020, trust was slowly and carefully built. And these relationships did not collapse after the uprising ended. New partnerships were maintained, new lines of communication established, shared goals realized. A network of care able to be revitalized when the same system of state violence returned to their city this year. The people are the power in the Twin Cities and beyond. This past Monday, I joined over 100 other people of faith, including around 40 UU ministers in Newark, New Jersey. At our UU National Gathering this June, General Assembly, a call went out for UUs nationwide to come to New Jersey, to come to gather in protest at Delaney Hall, the largest immigration prison on the East Coast. And the people responded. This interfaith coalition showed up, organized by the masterful work of faith in New Jersey. The day would culminate at the gates of the prison, but our time was rooted in so much more than that. For hours, we sat in the walls of the historic First Presbyterian Church, a 360-year-old church in downtown Newark, a stop on the Underground Railroad, a frequent refuge for Harriet Tubman. We sat in prayer. We grounded in song, and we immersed ourselves in education and in relationship. We came from all across the country to protest the horrific conditions in Delaney Hall, to call for New Jersey to cut all contacts with GEO Group and to eliminate the private prison structure altogether. We came to bear witness. We came to remember those lost. We came to honor those unjustly held inside. But over those hours in the church, our mission was also to connect deeply with each other. Clergy, lay folks, people of all denominations, to understand how we were connected, how we would continue this fight beyond this day, how we could repeat these actions in our communities and expand our networks and build on these connections once we returned home. The relationships forged and strengthened in the pews of First Church cemented the collective action that would come later that day. But they also poured the foundation needed for the long work to come. Collective action and collective care are the medicines that are needed to treat our ailing society. Right now, we are in a time of increased isolation. Intentionally, we are being trapped in the outrage of the 24-hour news cycle. The truth is, those who stand against Unitarian Universalist values are counting on our overwhelm and immobilization. This administration is launching simultaneous attacks on the many things we hold dear, and intentional strategies so that folks don't even know where to respond. Of course, your nervous systems are feeling out of whack. The overwhelm is real. The overwhelm is by design. In the words of professor, activist, and author Brittany Cooper, we live in a nation that does everything to induce our rage while simultaneously doing everything to deny that we have a right to feel it. So, feel your sacred rage, my friends. Feel your anger, feel your sadness, feel your emptiness. Wherever your body and mind is right now is the right place. Whatever you are feeling right now is the right feeling. And if feeling feels too hard, then move your body, punch a heavy bag, go for a run, scream into your pillow, cry, laugh, make 100 noises that need to be made. In order to show up for others, we have to care for ourselves. We have to allow ourselves moments to grieve. And then when you're ready, plug into this congregation. Connect with those who are fighting this fight alongside you. Be part of the collective care happening in your community. This is a lot. And this is a whole lot I have just thrown at you. Record-breaking heat and smoke-filled air is bringing danger across our region. The threat of promised fascism is here, and we are moving through the world in trauma brain with our nervous systems all out of whack. There is urgency to respond, but this is a marathon, not a sprint. So will you do another radical thing? Will you breathe with me? Will you take a slow, deep inhale through your nose? A slow, steady exhale out of your mouth. I invite you to imagine your team, your community. Who is at your side as even worse policies come down? Who are you embracing and pulling into your circle of care? Who can you call when it all feels like too much? The church is the beloved congregation within. The power of the church lives with you. My friends, I don't know what the future holds. No one can know. But I believe in my deepest core that we have the tools we need to stand up for those who are most vulnerable, to protect the most vulnerable inner parts of ourselves, and to be arm in arm supporting the organizing that can help fight a pivot to a hate-filled world that wants us to be siloed from each other. May we find a way forward, connected to each other in deep and honest relationship. May we never stop showing up for our community. And may we know that together we have all of the strength that we need, that we are the beloved church. May it be so. May we make it so. And amen.